What's that?
What is going on? It's another night. It's been 2 weeks since we've been back, but we're back. I was down in Miami last week, so I got to see a victory firsthand, so that's why we were on live. But hey, we're back. We're 8-3. First time being 8-3 since what year, Fred?
1996.
1996. Wow, long time ago. Clayton, I don't even know if Clayton was born yet.
Nope.
No. Okay. So guys, with 8-3, Bills win today, 20-3. I'm here with my compadres. Clayton Garrett, what's up?
Another day, another Bills victory. They're shaping up well in the AFC playoff race. It's going to be interesting.
And Fred Kilmartin, you know what time it is? It's a
Yes,
win.
sir. It's that time. I mean, it's been a while. 2 weeks. I haven't been wearing the hat, but we can put it on today for sure. That's right. The
Buckethead Fred.
Got to roll
Right.
that rim.
Hey,
Bucket hat, victory hat.
also, we're going to be doing something a little different tonight. Since it is Salute the Service Month, and this is what we did last year too, we actually had a ball with it. In the comments in the chat, if you have someone serving actively, or if you had somebody in the past that have served, please kindly put their name in there, and we'll see if we can get that name announced live on the show at some point tonight. So, guys, 8-3, 8-3, 8-3, getting ready for a short week, Turkey Day. How are we feeling about this game, Clayton? I'll start with you.
You know, the last 2 weeks, I've been very content with the performances on both sides of the ball, and that hasn't been the case for the majority of the season. You know, you look at what has changed on the offensive side of the ball specifically. Josh Allen said earlier this week in a presser that the offense has found its identity, and that's something that we have questioned numerous times on this show. And I really didn't know how much I could buy into that, because we really don't know what the identity is. Sometimes they want to throw the ball around. Sometimes they want to run the ball. Well, the last 2 weeks, we've seen them do a variety of both things. So maybe that is the identity, a very versatile offense that can attack you in both ways. And if the offense can get as consistent as it has been the last 2 weeks and heat up at the right time of the year, the second half of the season is going to be really fun.
All right, Fred?
Yeah, I mean, I told you guys earlier in the day I was kind of worried about this game, but I was kind of impressed though. I mean, they went with the running game and they didn't give up on the running game. And considering that defense that we won against, it was nice seeing our offensive line pushing that front four of theirs around. To see them put 244 yards up is very impressive, and especially this time of year is when you really want to get your running game going. So the last 2 weeks, they've actually came out with a game plan, and they're attacking the defense. They're not just coming out changing up the game plan. They're attacking, and that's what's nice to see out of this offense, them coming out and attacking. So maybe that is their identity now, that they're coming out, they're all playing loose, they're all playing fearless, and they're attacking the defense.
Right. I mean, I thought the team played efficient today, and I think efficient is the word that we use for Josh Allen last couple of weeks. I think that he's been ultra efficient. I thought he hurt the Broncos today with his legs a lot. He actually made him look silly a few times, and we'll have some clips probably tomorrow morning of those Broncos defenders just not be able to get to him or get him down. I mean, he started to remind me a lot of Steve Young and what Steve Young could do on the football field. Now, don't get me wrong, he's not as good a runner as Steve Young was. Steve Young was such an athlete, and not that Josh is not, but Steve Young was such an athlete that he was almost like having another running back. Didn't like the QB power we ran again. I wish we just get rid of that now, unless we're like near the goal line, please. But no, I thought that Josh played an extremely efficient game today. He managed the game. I mean, he was a sturdy 15 of 25 for a $185, 2 touchdowns. The one enter that it sailed on him. Okay, let's get a kid a break. He didn't throw an interception in that. I think it was like 172 pass attempts before that.
Yes.
Another 6 carries at 56 yards. That's efficient. I mean, that in this time of year, especially November, getting to December and cold weather Buffalo, that's winning. That's winning football.
And you know what surprised me is how Josh took that interception. I mean, if you looked at him on the sideline, he was bent about it. He was really bumming about that. He didn't mean to throw that ball. If anybody saw that, it's not like he threw it right to him. Like JT had just mentioned, the ball did sail on him, and I mean, he took it to heart. At one point in time, he went to the sideline. He was sitting by himself. That's how upset he was. But it didn't cost us a game. The defense held on, and it wasn't, no points taken for that turnover. So,
yeah, and interceptions like that, it's less about throwing the interception itself and more so about how you respond. And Josh Allen responded very well. He didn't let it plague his play going forward after the interception. And that's the largest key. You don't want to see a quarterback throw an interception, get down on himself, and just throw 2 more as a result. And he didn't do that today. He continued to play efficient, as JT touched on. And he did his job today, and it resulted in a victory.
I mean, what do we think about him extending these plays with his legs? I mean, today it's not like he's extending at this point 3rd and 5, 3rd and 4s, 3rd and 3s. He's extending, like today I think he extended a 3rd and 12.
Yeah.
I mean, how worrisome is that for a defense? I mean, now let's be honest. You're getting to defenses now that are not completely healthy. Hell, the Broncos had Shelby Harris go down in pregame workouts today. So it's just that time of year where weird things are going to start happening, especially injuries going to start popping up out of anywhere. But today, he really extended a lot of plays with his legs. I mean, 2 plays, I think, over third and 8. I mean, how troublesome is that for a defense, Fred?
For a defense, it's really troublesome, especially that the Denver Broncos were in man a couple times when he did take off. And the thing that I noticed with Josh, he's identifying that they are in man. So when he's taking off, and he's smart now too. I mean, he's not pushing the envelope. He's getting down. He's sliding. He's not going to take those big hits. So for a defense, they have to account for that. And then to see that this kid's starting to open up the long ball. I think this was the first long ball we've seen him hit all year, if I'm not mistaken, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, now you're, as a defensive coordinator, now you got to account for you got these wrinkles. You had Robert Foster in there, McKenzie, little speedsters that are in there. And then you throw in Cole Beasley, who had 7 catches today. And then John Brown picking up the outside bomb. Now you got to account for that. That's a lot for a defensive coordinator. And, I mean, I'm short week. I mean, Dallas Cowboys, they just lost to the Patriots. And now they got to go and try to look at all this tape and try to account for Josh Allen taking off on him on those 3rd and 12s and 3rd and 8s. So, yeah, it's a headache.
Right. And don't forget, up on the screen right now is your normal Brian Dabo approval rate. This has become fun. I mean, we've had 2 games of decent offense. We've won. And we still want to know what you guys are thinking. Is there any change? Is it a change of heart? Things happen. Sometimes we have to fall out of love to fall back in love. So let's just see what you guys think about Brian Dable, who was drinking the diet what day, Fred?
Diet Pepsi.
Diet Pepsi day. So yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe he switched to Diet Pepsi. That's what's going on. Who knows? But no. The thing is this: we ran the football. I mean, and we'll get to the congratulations to Frank Gore and his amazing accomplishment. But we ran the football the last 2 games, and Devin Singletary today got his first career 100-yard game, and he even on 20 carries, he still averaged 5 yards a pop. Frank Gore averaged another 4.3 yards a pop, and we ran for almost over 200 yards of rushing offense,
244.
244. 244. We're running the football. Clayton?
It's not like this rushing defense that they were going up against this week was any slouch. They were right around in the middle of the league of rushing yards allowed per game. And maybe this is what I was hinting about with my previous point. If maybe we are finding out the identity of this offense, because really this game was about who could establish play action first. Both teams had very good rushing attacks, and we never really seen this offense pound the rock like they did today. We didn't see them continuously run it no matter what. They didn't abandon the running game, and the passing game had success as a result. And you see how they're feeding Devin Singletary. You see how they're feeding Frank Gore. That's what separates really good football teams in this time of year, as JT mentioned earlier. In the December, November area time of the year when it starts getting cold, these teams with good offensive lines, with good running backs, with teams that can drain the clock, wear out your defense, those are the teams that separate themselves this time of year. And it's going to be interesting as the year goes on.
Fred?
Yeah, I mean, you got to give it up to this defense too, though. We held them to 85 yards rushing in the whole game. So, I mean, now you got your defense that's starting to define themselves too as far as stopping the run. So going into playoffs, that's key. If you got an NFL football team that's learning to stop the run and learning to run, that's a nasty combination going into playoffs. And then you throw in big Josh Allen. He's hard to take down, and he's starting to air it out. I mean, that is a nasty combination. So, I mean, it's great to see that this is 2 weeks in a row now that both sides of the ball were hitting, and including today, the special teams actually too. Andre Roberts, I don't know, every time he touched that ball, I said, this is it. He's going to break it. He's going to break it. I was sure. I was positive, all right, this is going to be the one. But, yeah, it was great to see that this team today played well, especially in the home crowd.
Right. I got a question right here. We got a question from Mark Clements. And his question is, that's a good question. Do we still want Brian Daboll fired? Fred?
I don't think you rock the boat right now. I think you play this thing out. I mean, I wouldn't change anything. I mean, if all of a sudden you fall off and you know, right now we're advancing. We're going up the ladder. I mean, if we continued falling down the ladder, I say, yeah, then you make that change. But right now, I wouldn't rock the boat. Let it be like it is right now, just to see. Play this thing out first.
Clayton?
See, I think it was after the Browns game where they ran the ball 13 times with running backs against the 30th ranked run defense. We had this conversation, and I've never been an advocate of firing a coach midseason. That's something that dysfunctional organizations do. That's something that teams that are losing do. You've seen it this season with, I believe, with the Chargers. They fired their offensive coordinator. The Cardinals, they fired their offensive coordinator. Maybe I could be mistaken with that, but point being, it hasn't been as bad as we have made it out to be almost. I mean, it has been putrid at times, but these issues that the Bills have been inconsistent with are fixable. That's the point. It's growing pains with an offense that's only featuring 2 returning starters from last year. And while it's 3/4 of the way through the season now, while it's almost inexcusable at this point to still have growing pains, there's still a thing. And I think that this offense has been adapting, it's been evolving, and that's really what has separated them these last 2 weeks.
You know, I don't want him fired. And I mean, I didn't want him fired during the season. I mean, I said we came after the Browns game, we laid another egg with offense, and you had no choice but to make the change.
Right.
I still want the swap after the season.
Yep.
After the season, I still want to go in a different direction. Whether you're bringing another offensive coordinator from another team or a head coach who's going to potentially get fired, maybe hint Pat Shermer possibly, or you would just turn over the reins to Ken Dorsey. So I still want to change it into the year because I just think that at some point you shouldn't have had to tweak or pretty much force this guy to make a commitment to the run when you were already averaging 4.5 yards a carry a game. So the fact that you had to do that alone warrants end of the season, bye-bye. Okay?
Now, since you say that, I have to ask this question because if the Bills offense continues to produce like they have these last couple weeks, looking efficient, doing enough to win football games and beating good defenses at that, if they continue to go on that trend, I don't think we should rule out the possibility of an offensive or a team without a head coach to pick Brian Daboll for a head coaching job. Because if the offense takes a 180 from that Browns game and they continue to produce on a weekly basis this latter half of the schedule and Josh Allen continues to climb or continues to develop rather, I don't think we should rule out that as a possibility.
You think that someone's going to look at him as a head coach?
If the Bills offense continues to play like this, I think it's absolutely a possibility. Yeah.
Well, they looked last year. They're already looking. So let's not rule out. I mean, it's not even a possibility to rule out because they looked last year and he was a possible hot candidate, possibly coming into this tour. But I do know that he was on their list. I don't even know if they got to interview with him. But like I said, Daboll, we'll see what happens. I'm still not sold on him. The offense, we put up 20 points today. It was nice. But we also were blessed with a lot of good field position by that defense and Andre Roberts. And let's not talk about Andre Roberts in the field position he's been given us last 2 games. You could tell he's healthy now. Completely healthy. Fred, what you got on Andre in the special teams unit?
Yeah, I mean, Andre, he had a big game today. I mean, I was really impressed with him. Like I said, I was hoping that he would break one. And he's picking up chunk yards on punt returns and on kick returns. But I'm waiting for him to break it. And I know that we've talked about it before, that he is close to breaking one. We just don't know what game it's going to be. And like JT said, he is healthy. I know that he had some bumps and bruises coming into the season. I know that he missed the Jets game, and I know he wanted to be at that Jets game because he had sort of a chip on his shoulder because of the way that they let him go. But I'm glad that we picked this guy up because that's one of our downfalls was the special teams last year. And well, he was one of the reasons we lost to the Jets because he torched us. But yeah, he's healthy, and like I said, right now it's like it's the watching. We're watching. When is Andre Roberts going to break this? When is he going to break one for a touchdown?
Coming close. He's coming close. Clayton?
We put out a stat yesterday or last night, I believe, saying that the Bills have the best kick return average in the NFL. That is tremendous growth from last season, because I know I'm not the only one that remembers Micah Hyde trotting out there just to catch the ball. Just catch the ball on punt returns. But the Bills' return unit on kickoffs was absolutely putrid last season. And when you have a player like Andre Roberts, it completely changes the dynamic of field position, as you alluded to, JT, because you take a punt from the 30-yard line, you automatically get it to the 40. That's 10 yards of field position difference, and that's 10 yards less that your offense has to go. Earlier in this game, the Bills really weren't having favorable field position starting inside the 10-yard line on their first 3 series. But after that, Andre Roberts almost essentially took over the game, having the Bills start at midfield on numerous drives. And it led, I believe, all of those drives led to scoring position. All the drives that ended up in scoring points in the second half was because of a solid return by Andre Roberts. Mm-hmm. And, it's been a complete 180 compared to last season, where we trotted out Micah Hyde just to field a punt. Now we're actually getting punt returns. We're getting favorable field position, and it's leading to opportunistic setups for the offense.
Yeah. I don't know if any of my old Bills fans remember a guy named Chris Watson, but Chris Watson was a horrible returner that the Bills had way back in the day. We actually traded for him from Denver for a 7th-round pick when our unit was already the worst unit in the league, and it actually got worse. So if you guys watching, and you guys remember Chris Watson, just put you remember Chris Watson in the chat. So we'll see how many people remember that name. He was actually absolutely horrible. He's probably driving school buses or something now. But no, it's one of those things. I mean, like I said, the offense came to play, the defense came to play. Like I said, it was a complete game all around. I would definitely say. Allen made the big throw today, and the big throw that we've been waiting for to John Brown. And I mean, we couldn't ask for more. I mean, it was a perfect ball. But I also like the fact that we're going more up tempo offense. We got Isaiah McKenzie. I think he played 76% of snaps last week, and that was his highest total on the field since being on this Buffalo Bills roster since last year. And I'm curious to see what the snap count is going to be tomorrow. What do we think about this up-tempo offense? I'm going to start with you, Fred.
I like it. And the other reason why I like it is because it reminds me a little bit of the K-gun. It's like the slow process of the K-gun, like the baby steps of the K-gun. Because, I mean, it's not giving the defense a chance to rest. It's not giving them a chance to sub in. It's not giving them a chance to read what's going on. I like the upbeat tempo, and I think that's what you need this time of year. If it also proves that your offense is clicking together. When you can run this upbeat tempo offense, that means that they're on the same page together. I know we had a couple false starts at the beginning of the game, but I mean, that's going to happen. I mean, it's going to happen. Crowd noise, whatever. But I think that this is showing maturity of this offense, that they are clicking together, that they are starting to mature together. And I think it's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with having an upbeat tempo offense.
Yeah, I really got upset. I was actually happy to see Robert Foster on the field today.
Mm-hmm.
You tell his speed definitely made a difference, but then he went out with an injury.
That hamstring.
The hamstring. So, that was definitely. You could definitely tell that was an added dynamic. And I mean, and right now when you had him, Brown, and Foster in the field, that's a lot of speed to account for. And I mean, hopefully Foster can get back soon. If not, like maybe we'll activate Duke Williams this week, which is a good problem to have, to experience. But Clayton, what are you thinking about the up-tempo offense? Then we'll get to a couple of questions, so leave them in the chat because we're going to answer them tonight.
I like what you said about it, Fred. It really shows the offense starting to build chemistry, and that's really what it is. As this up-tempo offense, I think I think we have to credit Brian Dable moving up to the booth, because obviously they wouldn't run this up-tempo offense if they didn't see a matchup, if they hadn't seen a matchup on the field that they didn't like. And the interesting thing is I watched the film from last week. All of the up-tempo plays was in 11 personnel, that being Cole Beasley, Isaiah McKenzie, Dawson Knox, and Devin Singletary in the backfield. And this week it was the same exact case. Every time they ran that up-tempo offense, it was 11 personnel. And I think that is the formation, that is the personnel grouping that Josh Allen fits with best, because you look at a player like John Brown and Isaiah McKenzie that he just has a chemistry with. He's had a chemistry with Isaiah McKenzie ever since he came into Buffalo midway through last season. And you have a running back that is very elusive, that can make a big play, and you have the tight end that he's building chemistry with. I like it. It adds a different dynamic. Now, another dynamic that has been made over the last 2 weeks, I think, is a killer instinct. Because you go back to the Miami game. The Bills were up I think they were up by almost 17 points, and they were still taking shots downfield in the latter half of the fourth quarter. Now go to this game. The Bills were up. What was it? It was 13-3 at that point when they hit that deep shot. Yep. They were up 13-3, and in weeks prior, we would see them just run the clock out. We would see them start running the ball as soon as they were up 2 possessions in a football game, and that's something we would gripe about on the show. Now we're seeing them have a killer instinct. You're up 13-3. All right, let's finish this and take a shot to the end zone to John Brown. And they've connected 2 weeks in a row now, and I think they're really starting to build chemistry with the deep patterns downfield.
Yeah. We are gonna have a couple questions about Mitch Morse and Robert Foster. But actually, we'll get to those now. So Mitch Morse went out with apparently was a hand injury, and it looked like he possibly come back and play. But I heard the commentator say that it was Rich Gannon say that he's probably being kept out as an emergency. It's going to be interesting to see on a short week and a hand injury for a lineman. I'm not positive about him playing. But John Feliciano came in the center. Spencer Long moved to the right guard. Cody Ford looked a lot better at right tackle today than he has all season. So that's something to worry about. And unfortunately, Robert Foster had a hammy. We probably won't find out anything or probably till Wednesday or Thursday on it. With a short week, I can't imagine he's going to be able to go.
Right. Yeah, because he was hobbling pretty good too. So
yeah.
I just hope it's not the same one that he's been having an issue with since training camp.
Right. So we have a question from Cody Wells. Cortland Sutton. Well, actually, I have a question and comment. Cortland Sutton got shut down by Trey White today. Literally got shut down. 1 reception for 27 yards. I believe he was targeted 4 times, 1 interception. And if that ball was even going, that ball was so bad that Brandon Allen threw. I don't even know. I can't even stat track if it was to Sutton or not. Literally. What are we thinking about Trey White's play? Clayton, I'll start with you first. Trey White, All-Pro, 4 interceptions this year? Getting those turnovers.
I think it should be. We've talked about it before. If that's what's really kept him out of the Pro Bowl. That's what's kept him out of the conversation for being an All-Pro is his lack of turnovers. He has now, 4 interceptions this year and a forced fumble. He's having a great year. He's having a career year, and he's developing very nicely. But, I mean, we were talking about this before we came on the show. Yeah, as you mentioned it in your previous point, some of those balls were just terrible. Some of the balls were terrible. And I thought Cortland Sutton was definitely going to be an X-factor player that the Bills were going to have to account for because we've seen this dude just moss guys in previous weeks. It doesn't matter who's playing at quarterback. He's still managed to have an excellent season at this point. I believe he was the second leading receiver in the AFC as far as receiving yards are concerned coming to this game. So he was definitely someone this defense had to account for, but he was no match for Trey White today or Brandon Allen for that matter.
Fred, Cortland Sutton, Trey White.
What I'm going to say is small market. I'm just saying Trey White is not getting the props and the recognition that he should be getting from the NFL. And when they came in here, that's all we heard was Sutton. We heard it from the commentators. That's all they were saying about what a beast of a receiver he was. And Trey wasn't getting the credit. Then all of a sudden they throw that long pass to him. Then all of a sudden they're like, he's a great receiver and all that. And then Trey White just shut him down. And then they started giving him a little bit of credit. And I think it has a lot to do with this being a small market, Buffalo Bills, small market. But Trey White is a Pro Bowl football player. And he's getting that name slowly. We in Western New York, we already know it, that he's a lockdown corner. And the NFL, we're going to get on notice because this kid can ball. He can play. And today, that ball, I don't have no idea where that ball was going. All I know is that Trey White come and grabbed it out of nowhere. And that was stopping that drive. I thought they were going to go ahead and take the lead on us. And that's the second time now where Trey White, it looked like the offense is going to go and score points, and out of nowhere, Trey White just comes and snags the ball. So
and mind you, both times right before halftime because he did it in the Dolphin game, and it was also right before halftime, and that's momentum going into the half. That shuts the team out.
You know what? That's the 3rd time he's had a timely interception this year. Let's not forget the game-sealing interception against the Bengals. So 3 of his 4 interceptions have been very well timed and just swung the momentum our way or won the game for us. And that's a playmaker right there. Those are the players that go to the Pro Bowl.
Right in front of us, the Bengals game, remember?
Yeah, that was awesome.
No, I mean he's definitely playing all Pro Ball. Like I said, he should be in the conversation for top 7 corner in the league right now. For sure. I mean, and you can actually probably make an argument for top 5, maybe even possibly top 3 because by the numbers he's only allowing about 60 yards a game. I mean, the only person that's better is Stephon Gilmore, who's the best.
I knew you were gonna say it.
Who's the best? I mean, he's the best corner. He's the best corner in football right now.
He played a great game today.
He's the best corner. Stephon Gilmore's the best corner in football. I mean, it is what it is. But Trey White, I don't think is that far off from him.
I just hope that Trey White doesn't want his family to see him in primetime games. That's all I want.
Well, I tell you what, if he does, Buffalo better not make the same mistake they made with Gilmore.
No, they better not.
And better tag him and trade him or something. I'm not
hopefully
saying
hopefully by the time contract time comes around, the Bills are in those primetime games.
Yeah. Right. No, but I mean, I think Trey White's playing all pro ball, and there's no question about it. And we're gonna end that dabble. Actually, no, we'll keep the poll up. The
thing is that Trey White's quietly having a Pro Bowl season.
Well, yeah, it was only quietly because he's in Buffalo.
That's what I was.
I mean, if it was anywhere else, it wouldn't be so quiet. So, I noticed something today in the last couple of weeks. So, obviously, we're making Devin Singletary the feature back now. Okay? And we thought that Frank Gore was going to be the feature back in the beginning of the season to get this kid fresh so he didn't hit the rookie wall. Because if you're unaware of the rookie wall usually comes within 10 to 12 games in for a rookie. Now, Devin Singletary obviously missed 3 games with the hamstring?
Yeah,
4 games with the hamstring. And he was it 4? Okay, 4 games with the hamstring, and he didn't play through the bye. So essentially, he was out for 5 weeks, essentially, including the bye. So he's fresh. But you also have a fresh Frank Gore, too, because you've taken the load off him the last couple of weeks. Our running game can carry us. And, I mean, this schedule doesn't get any easier from here. Now we hit the gauntlet. Dallas, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, who, I mean, outside of a helmet swing, I think they're irrelevant. The Patriots, who aren't playing good ball right now. And then you have the Jets, who I made a point to watch Sirius podcast Tuesday. Do not get to those last 2 games and need those wins. And don't say, hey, we're going to be 9-6 going into the week 17 and we're going to play the Jets and we'll just beat them. The Jets are playing very, very good football. And Sam Darnold, obviously he ain't even kissing anybody because he doesn't have mono and he's throwing touchdowns. So, and if you're wondering where this headband is from, it's from our guy Baker Brands. Follow him on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Cool headbands. I picked one up last week. He gave me one for free. He's a good guy. But no. Our running game. Can this running game lead us into the playoffs, and can it lead us deep into the playoffs? Fred, I'm going to come to you.
I think it can. I mean, just based on our offensive line alone, if we can keep our offensive line healthy, and for the most part we have been, we're waiting to see what's going on with Ty. I know that he's week to week. We know he's probably not going to play this week, of course, but we're going to have 10 days after the Dallas game. So with an ankle injury, hopefully he's got enough rest that he's back. But and then with Mitch Morris, I think it was just a thumb injury that he had. He came back on the field. They didn't play him. So if we can stay healthy and our backs are fresh, I absolutely think that this running game can push us through the playoffs and into the playoffs. Maybe even get a push in the playoffs, get us a run. We haven't won a playoff game since 1995. So with this running game that we got, and we still got fresh legs that are inactive every week in Yeldon. So, I mean, we have the capabilities to have this team put up 200 yards rushing every week. We really do.
You know what? I'm actually gonna. And speaking of that, Fred, you just gave me an idea. I'm actually gonna publish that Brian Dabble. So 40% of you are 70% happy or above. 70% above 70% happy with Dabble this year. 43% says 50 to 69%. You're in the middle. 10% says below, and 7% of you are very mean and still say fire him now. So that.
Well, at least we're all honest.
Yeah. Very mean. Very mean. I hope you all get coal in your stockings for Christmas. But no, I'm gonna add a poll question, and let's see who can answer first. And it's gonna go up. Who was the last team that the Bills beat in the playoffs? Fred, do not answer it on the air, please. Give me 3 options, Fred.
Tennessee. Actually, there would have been the Houston Oilers. Kansas City.
Were they Oilers still? Yeah, they were, huh?
Yeah.
Give me 3. Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs. Miami Dolphins.
Yeah,
or the Houston Oilers.
3 is good enough. And you said Oilers twice.
Yeah. I'm the KC Oilers.
All right, so we're going to put that poll up. Let's see who can answer that question for us. Who was the last team that the Bills beat in the playoffs? And we'll find out Dan Gambino from Cold Sox is controlling the chat for us, so I'm pretty sure he'll let us know who answered that question first. And that we're publishing that now, so we want to know.
I'll give you guys a hint. Thurman Thomas.
No, don't give any hints, man. Okay. But no. So this defense. Ed Oliver came to play today. Yep. Shaq Lawson came to play today. Jerry Hughes, I'm still concerned about. Trent Murphy, well, he was there. Starler Tooley fell into another sack. Okay. And this is probably the first week I didn't see Jordan Phillips get a sack. But honestly, what do we think about the play of this defense today? Clayton, what are your thoughts on it, besides Trey White?
You know, you look at how the Bills have won these last two games on the defensive side of the ball. They're really attacking. And we spoke of on previous shows how this defense can't really get pressure unless they're sending extra guys. Well, the Bills have been sending extra guys the last 2 weeks, and it's been abiding well for them. But when you have a secondary like the Bills have, when you have players like Poyer, Hyde, and White, and Levi Wallace and Kevin Johnson, those guys are a little suspect. But when you have a secondary like the Bills have, you can afford to send extra guys more times than not. When you're not playing elite talent at the quarterback position, when you're playing the Ryan Fitzpatricks, when you're playing the Brandon Allens, you can afford to be aggressive and attack that way. Now, as far as the defense, as far as the run defense is concerned, ever since they added Corey Liuget to this team, I've seen them take a complete 180. Now, you look at what they did against the Browns. You might not say that Nick Chubb going over 100 is shutting him down. Well, when you're playing, I think Nick Chubb's one of the three best running backs in football. And when you're playing one of the three best running backs in football and he doesn't absolutely destroy you on defense, I think you did a pretty solid job. And you look what they did against Kalen Ballage, and you look at what they did against Philip Lindsay.
Kalen Ballage, come on,
hey,
Clay. That's a stretch, bud. That's a stretch.
It is a stretch, but you look what they did today against Philip Lindsay and Royce Freeman, who have been a good one-two punch for the Broncos. Mm-hmm. It's certainly something to keep an eye on as the Bills are going to go up against a lot of good rushing football teams upcoming.
Yeah. Well, what did you think? I mean, like I said, I thought Philip Lindsay had a couple cracks though at this, but I thought because they got down, they had to pass. Fred?
Yeah, I thought the defense is playing well, and the one person that stands out to me is Shaq Lawson. I mean, this kid's putting pressure. It's on the quarterbacks. Every game he's putting pressure. Now he got 2 sacks today. He's up to what? His 4th sack this year?
Five.
5th sack this year. That's the most for him in a career. And what I noticed is that they're not just keeping him on the right side. He's on the left side. He's moving around that line, and he is getting into the quarterback. That's what we need is our defensive ends to put some pressure on the quarterbacks and contain to hold these guys in the pockets. But, yeah, this defense, they're showing that they're putting pressure on the quarterbacks, and they're getting sacks. I think we have, 16 players right now that has a sack on this team, and that's the most we've had in years. I think we had 12 last year altogether. So we're not putting up huge sack numbers, but we are, though. And just today, we had 4 sacks today. Believe it or not.
7 last week, 11 in the last 2 weeks.
Right. So they're slowly getting after the quarterback. And guess what? It's the perfect time of year to start doing that, too.
Ed Oliver is getting stronger. And this is the point in time. Maybe this is why they've been rotating him out a lot, so he stays fresh. But now he's starting to understand the program a little bit better. I mean, you could see it. I don't think his play was as bad as some of the media tried to make it seem. I thought his play was pretty solid. I mean, he was averaging about 3 seconds getting to the quarterback, which was like second for defensive tackles. But the numbers just weren't adding up. He missed a couple earlier in the year too. Mm-hmm. But this guy's coming to play. I mean, and shout out to our training staff. This is probably the healthiest Bills team I can remember in the history of me watching this team. Literally, I've seen nothing like this. How much are we attributing to health?
To what?
We have to attribute a ton.
The health of this team. They were healthy.
I mean, I got to tell you, I think you got to give it to that $18 million facility we got. I'm just saying. Every week, I mean, these guys are in shape. They're in there. They're lifting. They're spending time together. We're seeing the pictures on BuffaloBills.com that these guys are using that facility. And you know what? Staying in shape, I mean, it helps beat injuries too, you know. And you're right. I can't remember a team that's been this healthy this far into the season. I mean, there wasn't, maybe 6-7 years ago, we led the NFL with players on the IR. I mean, this is unheard of. And then, you know, a couple of these injuries today, they went down. I said, oh, here we go. Here comes that trickle effect. You know, one boom. Then all of a sudden, Bees is back. All of a sudden, Morris is fine. it's nice to see that they changed some staff members up in Buffalo, and now you're starting to see a better product on the field, and it's got to do with McBean, what they're doing up there, and it really has to do with the process.
So we're gonna say that McBean and McDermott are healing people as well now too. Come on. I mean, I know. Okay, they had to pick the staff. Let's give a little bit of credit to Pagulas with that. Come on, let's give them a little bit of credit. We can't.
Well, I did. I gave them the credit. They're the ones that took the money out of their pocket to buy the facility. So
yeah,
I've said it a couple times this show. This is the time of the year where a team's depth and a team's attrition is tested. And the Bills really haven't been tested as far as their depth is concerned. That's not to say I'm not confident in the Bills' depth, but you look at how healthy this football team is. Going into I think it was the Miami game, they literally had nobody on the injury report.
Yes.
0 injuries on the injury report. That is remarkable. That's almost unheard of in the Professional Football League, where it's a physical game, where guys just get dinged up and it just happens. But you look at not only how deep this football team is, but also how healthy it is. That's going to go a long way when you're facing teams that are possibly beat up this latter half of the season.
Well, you got to remember this. We lost our starting center and our right tackle. Did anybody even notice today? We still put 244 yards up on the ground.
Well, I like how Cordy Ford is developing, and maybe this is why they didn't rush to put him at right guard and why they trusted John Feliciano. And JT said it numerous times. That guy has earned his spot, and he has been one hell of an addition to this football team. You look at his versatility as far as playing guard and center and how he almost does it seamlessly, and not a lot of players can do that in the NFL. But Cody Ford has been developing nicely. I mean, Fred, you and I went to training camp. We saw how this guy was getting manhandled time after time along the edge, along his exterior. And I kept saying, we got to put him at guard. Well, here we are 12 weeks into the season, and he's really starting to find his zone. He's really starting to learn the program, just as Ed Oliver is. And maybe that's why they didn't rush to put him at guard, even though it may have been the better move earlier in the season. And I think it's biting well for their offensive line.
You know who I'm starting to like? And you're not hearing much about him, but this guy, he's strapping up, coming to work with his lunch pail every day. Quentin Spain.
Oh, Quentin Spain. Quentin Spain should be considered for the Pro Bowl. There's no doubt about it. Quentin Spain should be considered for the Pro Bowl. The running lanes that these guys are opening, and nothing against Mitch Morse, but this Feliciano, Spain, Dawkins, they're opening these running lanes.
Yeah, Dawkins had a great game today too.
Great game.
My goodness.
Great.
That one play where he picked him up, drove him downfield. I mean, that may have been a hold, but still, the hustle, the ruthless aggression and the hustle on that play.
Mm-hmm.
No, definitely. I mean, like I said, the strength is in our line is really just manhandling people, and I mean those are some big boys up front. Big boys, and they like hitting people. It's a lot of attitude up front, and it's funny because I said last week when I was at Miami and I'm watching the game. You know, the defense started taking on this aggressive attitude. It was probably the most aggressive. They've played well all season. They executed. But it's different between executing and being aggressive. This defense is getting nasty. I mean, they're getting nasty. And I mean, I'm loving every bit of it. You know, I'm loving it. I'm feeling like Bruce Smith bad things. You know what I mean? Like, it's getting that nasty. I mean, they're hitting. And Milano's all over the place. Tremaine Edmonds is all over the place. You can't ask for anything better. No Levi Wallace sightings today. No Kevin Johnson sightings as far as being bad. We do have a comment from a Michael, and I hopefully I get your name right. Michael Kanan says, "Nice not to hear Lee Smith's name this week." Did we even see Lee Smith on the field this week?
He had a few snaps at the end of the game when they were running the clock out. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank God, no more penalties for Lee this week. That was really nice. So we have an answer for our poll. Fred, what was the answer for the last team that we beat in the playoffs?
Miami Dolphins.
All right. 23% said the Oilers, 40% said the Chiefs, and 37% of you got the Miami Dolphins right. And the first person that was not Leroy Mud Dog Winslow who got it right was Brian Vetter. So congratulations, Brian. You win a clap because we don't have much to give away. Christmas is coming and kids needs gifts. No, and if you haven't asked, no, Brian Vetter, the Vetter boys is over there at Certified Breaks, Sports Breaks. Make sure you go to their page, and they give away some awesome things.
Shorty McBill's
page, yep. So, guys, 8-3. We're heading to Dallas. We're healthy. Frank Gore just broke a record today. What else can we ask for from this team? What do you want to see going forward, Clayton?
Don't allow these two solid performances against inferior opponents be flukes, okay? Because we've seen this team play two solid football teams this year, and the New England Patriots and the Philadelphia Eagles, the only two quote-unquote non-suspect teams that they've played this year. Now, their record, you can say what you want about it, but they don't control who they play, and they've made the most of it this season. I mean, we've seen years before where they haven't made the most of a week schedule. And, you know, this is going to be a test. You're on a short week. You're a pretty healthy football team going into Dallas on Thanksgiving. You're going to have all eyes on you on Thanksgiving Day. It is a huge game. It is a huge test for both sides of the football. You have an offense. You're going into town against an offense that averages over 400 yards per game. They just lost to the Patriots today. They're going to be pissed off. They're going to want to get back on the right track as they hope to keep their playoff hopes alive in a very competitive NFC. So that's the biggest key. Don't allow these last two solid performances on the offensive side of the ball specifically be flukes. And don't allow the run defense the last 2 weeks be a fluke either, as you're going to go against one of the 2 or 3 best football running backs in football with Ezekiel Elliott.
Actually, and not to cut you off, actually, Brian Better, we do have a gift for you. Dan from Cold Socks is throwing you a free pair of socks for being the first person to get that playoff question right. Maybe we'll do this every week. If Dan wants to give away socks, it'd be pretty cool. We give away stuff for stocking stuffers.
Plus, it's getting cold out. People's feet are getting cold.
We can give you a Star Latuli to put on top of your tree. Fred, what do you what do you got?
Hey, what I'm gonna say is that we have not played on Thanksgiving Day since 1994. And that was when Barry Sanders was playing for Detroit Lions. So here's the thing, though. I don't want the Buffalo Bills to go and have a letdown. First of all, this is going to be a primetime game. This is bigger than Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, and Sunday Night Football. This is Thanksgiving Day, okay? And it's the 4:30 game. It's not the 12 o'clock where no one's really watching it or the 8 o'clock when everyone's sleeping. This is the primetime Thanksgiving Day. So I want the Bills to go out there, get some respect from the NFL. Come out here and play a game. Be competitive. That's all I want to see out of these guys. Come out here, get some respect from the NFL. You know, you don't just get respect. You got to earn it. Let's go out and earn respect on Thanksgiving Day.
No, I agree. I mean, it's a huge game for national praise. I mean, you can tell that the critics, they're still up and down about where they want to rank us. Hell, I'm up and down where I want to rank us. I don't think any of us, know where this team really sits because our schedule's been weak. Let's be honest, our schedule's been weak, but we don't make the schedule. We play who's on it.
Yeah,
we play who's on it, and we beat the teams that we're supposed to be beating. All right, we beat, and I mean the 3 games that we've lost. I mean, we got dominated by the Eagles. Let's just call it what it is. And what was the other? We barely lost to Cleveland, which Cleveland looks really good now. So that game that we lost, the way they're looking,
9 points to the Patriots.
Huh?
Defensively, we gave up 9 points to the Patriots.
Right. So we lost 2 teams that we was going to the season saying they're probably better than us, and we lost 1 to the Browns, who have a lot of talent in the last couple of weeks have shown. So it's very hard to rank this team, but we won all the games we were supposed to win. You can't penalize a team for winning games that they're supposed to win. Right. Doesn't matter how you do it. It's NFL. You're not just going to come out and just blow people out.
They don't look at the score. They look at W and the L.
That's it. As simple as that, But I thought this team looked really good. I mean, I want to take a minute and really talk about Frank Gore and talk about the impact that he's having on this roster and just his impact on the NFL as a whole. I mean, it seems that everybody loves Frank. Everybody loves Frank. He's a true testament to a warrior. I mean, God, to come into NFL after 2 knee surgeries in college, 2 torn ACLs in college, and to still be able to play 15 years in the NFL. And I mean, mind you, this is 15 years at running back. This is not quarterback, not kicker, not punter, not lineman. 15 years at running back, where we see running backs don't even get to a 3rd contract half the time now. Mm-hmm. To pass Barry Sanders today and to still be averaging 4.3 yards a carry doing it is insane. Fred, what do you think about his impact that he's had on this locker room, this team, and just the NFL as a whole?
Listen, I seen all the videos today, all the congratulations from all the people in the NFL. This guy is loved by everybody. He's a true testament of hard work in the NFL and what you can accomplish from having that work ethic that he has of hard work. I mean, if he keeps it up, he's probably going to be teammates with his son. I mean, if he keeps playing, and I already seen people saying, "We'll see you next year. Go for 2 more years." He's not saying he's going to quit, but I mean, it's great to have this guy on the team. I wish we would have had him when he was a little younger, but I'll take him at this age. I mean, it's a great accomplishment of him breaking Barry Sanders' record, and I mean, hats off to him.
Right. Oh, also don't forget this week we will be running for Thanksgiving Day contest, a guess the score contest for a brand new pair of the blue and gold 716 socks. Sabres color 716 socks coming out. I don't even have a pair yet, so if you get a pair from me, you can give it to me for a Christmas gift. If you're like, I take stock of stuff first all the way from April all the way through January. So if you're a little late, that's fine too. You can still send them. But no, so we'll be running that for cold socks this week. Well, Clayton, I mean, impact to Frank Gore.
You know, Frank Gore, for me personally, he really came into the league right when I started watching football. And, you know, when I started watching football, I loved running backs. And Frank Gore was one of my favorite running backs that wasn't on the Bills. And, JT, you alluded to it in your previous point. You don't really see this anymore. You don't. And I had this conversation earlier today. You see these running backs, they get used up in college. The tread on their tires wear. And you see them come into the league, they have 1 or 2 good seasons, and they don't get to that third contract. They don't get paid. And that's exactly why you see situations like Le'Veon Bell happen. But more back to Frank Gore, the impact he's having on this football team, the leader he is, the kind of attrition he has to play damn near 16 years in the National Football League. And as Fred alluded to, almost playing with his son. That is unheard of at the running back position. The ability to adapt and evolve. You look at the injury he sustained in college, multiple knee surgeries. A lot of running backs don't even come back from that. A lot of running backs, after having multiple knee surgeries, they want to hang it up. But Frank Gore, he came into this league, and now he's the 3rd all-time leading rusher. This is one of the most incredible stories in NFL history. I don't care what anybody has to say about that, because it is. And you look at what this guy has overcome in his career, multiple years in San Francisco. He's gone to multiple teams over his career as well. And now he comes to Buffalo. He fits the culture here. He fits that blue collar, bring your lunch pail to work, and come work your ass off. And he's done that all season. And I couldn't be happier with him being on this football team and achieving the record he did today with the Buffalo Bills.
All right. Now, I admit me and Frank's relationship didn't start off too well. I'm a Florida State fan, and he played at Miami in college. Me and Frank didn't get off to a good start. You know, but and over the years, you know, we've become to like each other. Frank's never seen me or met me, but I'm pretty sure if he did, he would enjoy me, enjoy my company. But he's a hard worker. He's a testament, and you know, I'm gonna try to reach out to Frank Gore somehow, some way for this summer. He has these epic workouts, and I mean epic workouts where a lot of people can't stick with him, even the young running backs. And I want to see if I can do the workout. Now, I highly doubt I can do it, but I'm going to try, and I'll probably pass out somewhere in Florida Garden somewhere. But I want to do it. That's my goal for this summer, is to work out with Frank Gore. But no, I mean, it's amazing too to be able to see that here in Buffalo and see it happen here. It's actually pretty cool. We know that most of Yards didn't come in Buffalo. We get it. He's not ours. If he goes Hall of Fame, he's not putting a Bills thing on his bust. Okay, so don't say that or go there. But it's still pretty cool to see it on our dirt, as Sean McDermott will call it. It's a pretty cool feeling to see that. But no, guys, I mean, this was a great win. We got Turkey Day coming up. But before we go, we did put a poll up about re-signing Shaq Lawson. 92% of you said yes. 5% of you are mean and getting coal in your stocking for Christmas because you said no. And 3% of you were smart and said, hey, no, but tag and trade him. Don't let him go for free. So, hey, just, you know, a couple thoughts on Shaq Lawson there. But hey, if you guys don't mind, because we're going to be wrapping up here in a couple minutes. Since it is Salute the Service Month, and we do this every year here in the Cold Front Report, we want you to list names of your loved ones that are serving actively, have served in the past, or may even serve in the future. If you have kids that are in ROTC programs, things like that, put their name in there, and we're going to try to announce as many as we can, because it's the least that we can do for those who fight for our freedom to do shows and have shows and things like this. As Fred Kumar can say, you know, if it weren't for them, we wouldn't have nice things.
That's right.
So, final thoughts, Clayton Garrett, 8-3, gobble gobble day coming up. What's up?
You know, this doesn't really have to do with the Bills, more so Cold Front Report and our fans as a whole. You know, Thanksgiving's coming up. It's the time of the year to be thankful for what you have. And I just want to take a minute to thank every single one of our fans, everybody who's ever watched this show, everybody who's ever commented, shared, liked any of our posts, all of our followers. Thank every single one of you, because without you, there is no Cold Front Report. You know, we all have our lives outside of this. This isn't the only thing we do by any means. And there's a lot of work. There's a lot of people behind the scenes. It's not just the three faces you see on your screens every Sunday night that go into this. And, you know, a lot of people have to do with this. And we love it because, you know, without you guys, there is no Cold Front Report. So thank you.
Yep. Fred, final thoughts.
I would like to give a shout out to my 3 nephews that are in the armed services right now. I have my nephew Jarrett Kilmartin. He's in the Air Force up in North Dakota, and then I have 2 nephews, Sam Savannison and Nick Savannison. They are in the Air Force and in the Navy. I just want to thank them guys for their services, and anybody else that has family, friends, relatives that are doing that are in active duty or who have served. We appreciate you guys, and thank you for your services.
Right. I have a name of Jake Hajek. I hope I got it right. That's Mud Dog's nephew. He's a Marine. So as they say, hoorah to you. We actually have an active watcher right now, Cody Wells, who watches our show, and he watches the Tuesday show as well. He's active, so thank you for all you do, Cody. We appreciate you, and I'm still going through to see if we can get some more names. And I'm not, like I said, we're gonna do this every week. So if you don't get a name on this week, don't sweat it. We're going to do this all through the rest of the shows this month. Yeah, guys. Great show. Great victory. 8-3.
Damn. I can't remember that. 8-3.
Yeah. Okay, one more name here. Mike Back says his dad. Billy Back. Thank you for your service, sir. And like I said, if you didn't get on today, hey, put them on the chat after, and we'll get them to the next show. But we're going to make sure we get through every single one, because every year we make sure we get through every single one, because everybody is important. And one late one from Dan Gambino, Dwayne Jacobs in the airport, was one of his best friends. So, guys, great show. We're 8-3. We're going to Turkey Day on a national televised game. Let's hopefully we can go to Dallas and really win this. It'd be great to do. But if not, so far this season has been amazing. This season's been amazing. This team's been amazing. The fan base has been amazing, and let's not, even though he didn't serve, let's also not forget about this season started off the season of Poncho. Season started off the season of Poncho.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so guys, crazy things are happening in Buffalo. Crazy things are happening in Buffalo. Wouldn't imagine it. Mm-hmm. But hey, that's our show. We'll see you guys. We're not sure when we'll see you guys. Maybe Thursday, maybe Friday, maybe Sunday, but we will see you sometime after the Thanksgiving Day game. We'll probably all have the itis, but probably won't be Thursday. Other than that, we are DONE. We're done. Make sure you tune in Tuesday for the Stevie Johnson Watch the Series podcast right here on the exclusively right here on the Cold Front Report Network. And make sure you go to Baker Brands and get one of these cool headbands from my man Baker over there. Got some cool free Myles Garrett ones too. I'll get one of those too. I think I'll be wearing it for a long time. Won't go out of style for at least a year because he probably won't be back for a while. But guys, catch you guys next time. Thank you for, as always, joining us on the Cold Front Report, presented by Cold Socks. Oh, don't forget, Dan Gambino's going to be in Dallas doing coverage for us from Turkey Day. So we'll have live coverage from Dallas as well. Catch you guys later.